Antoinetta.
Hi, Meira.
We're having a wonderful cold day here in Sfat. Really, really cold and rainy. So, yes. So, we're going to warm ourselves up with some self-compassion, right?
Yes, thank you very much for yesterday's session. I was very impressed with the mantras, and I also would like you to recap the whole mantras and just let's have a look a little bit about the whole process of repeating the mantras, and then we can go into our topic, which is self-compassion, self-esteem,
Self-compassion and self-esteem. Yeah.
what is the difference, what's going on in that area.
Yes. So let's do the mantras, and these mantras are specifically to help reinforce our self-compassion. That's what it's for. And each time you say it, I would like you to just breathe it in so your body can really absorb it and feel it. I am doing the best I can right now, and that is enough. I'm doing the best that I can right now, and that is enough. I am worthy even when I struggle. I am worthy even when I struggle. Lulu thinks that this is good too. My cat Lulu.
Yeah.
I can allow myself to feel all my emotions, even uncomfortable ones. I can allow myself to feel all my emotions, even uncomfortable ones. My feelings are neither good nor bad, they just are. My feelings are neither good nor bad, they just are. My thoughts are just thoughts. My thoughts are just thoughts. I can make mistakes. They are a normal part of growing and learning. I can make mistakes. They are a normal part of growing and learning. I pay attention to my body and how it feels. I pay attention to my body and how it feels. I am learning and growing every day. I am learning and growing every day. What is important to me might differ from what is important to someone else, and that's okay. What is important to me might differ from what is important to someone else, and that's okay. I can handle it if not everyone likes me.
Wow.
I can handle it if not everyone likes me.
Yeah.
And all of these statements are so true. Yes, they're extremely simplistic and very powerful.
Yeah, and it is also important when you repeat these statements, we get the energy of the words. And actually, it is like learning and programming our thoughts, our feelings to do better. Actually, to have this energy of up leveling our self love also. You know.
And it's also getting the subconscious to absorb it, not only our conscious, because consciously we know most of those statements and we agree with them.
Yeah.
But that's not who's running the show.
Yeah.
Our subconscious is running the show. And that's where real change needs to happen that will sustain the permanent changes in our life and growth in our subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. These mantras are even good, to put on a loop and just listen to them when we sleep.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility as well. So let's see, what's the difference between self-esteem and self-compassion? So self-compassion allows us to be kind to ourselves even when we struggle, while self-esteem reflects how we feel about ourselves in relation to our accomplishments. Now, our accomplishments are not us. They're just things that have happened in our lives, but that's not who we are, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And self-compassion is the feelings that we have about ourselves. So it's two different things. So let's see how there's a correlation possibly between the two. So if you were looking at a chart comparing the two, your self-compassion would stay steady no matter what the circumstances, while self-esteem would go up and down depending on how your ego felt, right?
Wow.
So think about the differences in each situation and notice how much more helpful the self-compassion is as than the self-esteem. So if today, for instance, I succeeded in something, then my self-esteem would go up. But if tomorrow I failed at something, then it would go down, so that it would be, going up and down like a seesaw.
Yeah.
And where my self-compassion doesn't have that, it has to be all the time. I have to be compassionate to myself all the time, no matter what is happening externally. So one is externally driven and the other one is internally driven. And I think that both are influenced by our ego. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look now. I have something really special for you guys. It's a quiz. And I'm
Okay.
going to ask 10 questions, and each question will have a true or false to it. So I'll ask the question, think about it, I'll repeat the question, and then you'll indicate whether it's true or false for you. Each true answer will give you 5 points. For the first, well, each question is different. So let's take a look. I allow myself to make mistakes and see them as learning opportunities. I allow myself to make mistakes and see them as learning opportunities. True or false?
So we give some time for people to answer that true or false. Question number 1. Okay,
Yes.
continue.
Question number 2. I allow myself to experience all my emotions. I
True or
allow myself to experience all my emotions. Now, if you're a little bit like me, it's not 100% a yes or a no or in every situation or in every day,
yeah.
right?
It depends on the situation. It depends on the players. It depends on the
Exactly.
correlation.
Right.
Wow.
So I don't think that I can say 100% true, although in general it's true. I agree with the statement, but I don't do it 100% of the time. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm lonely, I will beat myself up and tell myself that no one likes me. When I'm lonely, I will beat myself up and tell myself that no one likes me. That's a clear yes or no, a true or false. Number 4, speaking harshly to myself is an effective way of motivating myself to do better. Some people think that negative reinforcement works.
Yeah.
And that is definitely an old belief system. Speaking harshly to myself is an effective way of motivating myself to do better. True or false? Number 5, if I fail, I believe I am not good enough. If I fail, I believe I am not good enough. Number 6, struggling and suffering are part of the human experience. Struggling and suffering are part of the human experience. True or false? I believe it's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I punish myself for making mistakes. True or false? I punish myself for making mistakes.
And in that question, punishment can be really, really physical, but above all emotional. When you
Yes.
continue thinking, okay, I did it wrong, and what I feel guilty for, and I feel ashamed. And this is also a way of punishment
Yes.
ourselves. And when you keep thinking with this hamster wheel of thoughts, and you
Mhm.
can also have these dramatic thoughts, so, and catastrophic thinking, and this
Yep.
is also a way of punishment yourself.
Well, it goes with number four, speaking harshly to myself
Yeah,
is an
exactly.
effective way of motivating myself to do better. You know, the two go hand in hand almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Number eight, I must be perfect to be loved or good enough. I must be perfect to be loved or good enough. True or false?
And this judgment, what does it mean to be perfect? What does
Right.
it mean to be loved? So, and again, when we speak about people living with post-traumatic stress disorder, it is very difficult to distinguish what is the line, the borderline. How does to be loved mean? And people who got abused, and there
Mhm.
is actually no borderline of what does it mean to be loved, or to be perfect also. It is
Well,
very.
there's
Yeah,
a whole theory on love language.
yeah,
How do we interpret things that we consider, and each person individual, as an act of being loved? So, for instance, one person, feels loved if every week somebody brings them flowers, and another person feels loved, if they take them out to dinner. And another person can feel loved only if they get them jewelry, and these are all external things that, and it depends on each person. What you feel as love, I may not interpret that way.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's really getting to know the person and what's their love language. And then that feeling of love is also subjective, because if I'm angry or frustrated, even if you do the best things in the world for me, I may not feel loved at that moment because I have a barrier and I'm resistant.
exactly. And what about the social patterns, and also
Mhm.
the cultural issues
Yep.
involved in being loved you know
Right.
So this
Right.
is very interesting, very, very interesting. So, for instance, here we in Latin America, we Latins, we like to hug, to be very expressive. On the other hand, in other countries, when you smile, this is already an expression of love. And
Mhm.
for us, it's nothing. It's just okay. It's
Right.
normal. It is very normal to be laughing and to be enjoying, let's say. So this is quite interesting, really. And when we talk about these topics, it's very important to have a look to these intercultural issues.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you have cultural issues. You have, depending on the age groups, you have the male female interpretations. There's so many distinctions. We
yeah,
can go on for hours talking about that.
yeah.
Yes, it's very interesting. So, number nine, I am kind to myself as I am to other people. True or false? I am as kind to myself as I am to other people. It's so much easier to be kinder to other people, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And the last one, I tend to overreact to my feelings and exaggerate my response to get validation. I tend to overreact to my feelings and exaggerate my response to get validation. Yeah. We all
And
need validation, right?
yeah, again, validation. What does validation mean? So it requires, so you constantly require a feedback of
Mhm.
people around you, or maybe in your job. place, or maybe in within your family. So you are the whole time also like showing up, just with different issues. It can be difficult situation, but also impressive situations, and you only are like overreacting and
Yes.
showing up. I show up just for that. I show up for letting you know what's going on with me, and this is extremely important. And wow.
Yes, it's very interesting
Yeah.
how we need that validation, that external. So I think the self-compassion quiz is basically, are we internalizing or are we projecting? You know, are we, because our emotions need to be given released, not internalized. So I think that the biggest question is, are we motivated more by external factors, or are we self motivated for ourselves? Are we able to handle our emotions and how we handle them? These are important factors in self love,
Yeah.
and that's the critical part of it.
Okay.
Yes,
And Meira, for the people who just jumped in the live and are watching us, could you please repeat this description of self-esteem and self-love,
sure.
just as a recap, also for explaining and getting the whole idea of this call?
Absolutely. So, self compassion allows us to be kind to ourselves even when we struggle, while self esteem reflects how we feel about ourselves in relation to our accomplishments. And if you were looking at a chart of the two, self esteem reflects more of a steady balance. And I'm sorry, I think I mixed it up. Hold on. If you're looking at the chart, your self compassion would stay steady, while your self esteem would go up and down depending on how your ego felt. Yes. So we're hoping that our self compassion is strong enough that we don't have too many ups and downs on our self esteem, because one does influence the other. If we're very compassionate about, to ourselves, then we won't have the very high and the very low ends of the self esteem. But if we're very critical, then we're going to have a lot of highs and lows. It's
Yeah.
normal to have the fluctuation because not every day is the same. And not every day do we succeed in everything that we want or whatever we're doing. But our self compassion needs to really be strengthened. And
Yeah.
we never have enough.
Yeah.
We really don't, especially women. We don't have enough of compassion for ourselves. And that's the whole thing of self love,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the way of this difference, you know. So
Mhm.
self-esteem has also to do with outside. So what people
Right.
says about you, the whole feedback you get, the whole also accomplishments the you receive, and accomplishments, you know, it is such fluctuation. It depends
Right.
on many variables there. And
Yep.
however, when you talk about self-compassion, this is something that it is inside you, that
Yes.
the only one person that can gives you that is just you. So
Right.
you don't rely on anything, you don't rely on anyone.
Yes.
I mean, besides you. So
Yes.
I like this interpretation and this combination of self-love and self-esteem, and this is also a very important topic for us in our self-mastery in mind, body, and soul. So to point out how to get this balance, you know, and
Yes.
how to receive the energy of both.
Yes, and we need both.
Yeah, for sure.
We need both because without self-esteem, knowing our self-worth, then how do we go out to the world and accomplish anything?
Yeah,
We need a healthy self-esteem,
yeah,
and we need as much self-compassion as possible.
yeah,
Yes, we need both.
yeah,
We're humans, we're in a human body with a human experience, and we require both.
yeah,
But what we don't require is the ego pulling at us. That's the big thing. When the ego pulls at us, then we become out of balance.
yeah, yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let us continue with our quiz. We just finished the 10 questions,
We
and what comes then?
we're done with the quiz, and anybody that would want to see the quiz in writing, I'd be more than happy to send it to them. Just send me your email address, and I will share all the questions with you. And there's a point there. Each question has a different point value, and so it's more complicated than one or the other because each question has a different variety. And a lot of the questions are not a straightforward true or false, as we saw with, allowing mistakes and allowing emotions. It's not 100% one or the other. I know that I gauge somewhere, in the middle with that. Not in every situation do I allow myself to make mistakes. There's some situations, like in my work, I can't make a mistake. So I really don't allow too many possibilities like that, because when I'm doing my tax work, it needs to be correct.
Yeah,
Otherwise, what are they paying me for?
yeah,
But there are other situations in life in general, that I do allow myself to make mistakes. So it's not a yes or a no, black and white kind of situation. But yeah, it's really food for thought. The more we can go inwardly and think about these questions and assess, is this right for me? Is it wrong for me? Do I need to improve? Like, I'd love to be able to improve allowing all my emotions. When I was brought up, it wasn't a thing, only babies cry. You got those messages, you don't cry, you know? And so we learn this over time, that we need to be strong. And it's not always appropriate. Sometimes you need to cry.
yeah, yeah. And it is okay to cry. It is
Yeah.
safe to cry. It is possible to express the emotions, the feelings through crying.
Yeah.
And there is no positive, no negative information or judgment inside. So nothing wrong, no
It's just
expectation.
like it's just like releasing the valve, releasing some air from the valve so that you can release the emotions and go on.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a learning process, because not all of us were brought up with the message that it's okay to feel your feelings.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, such amazing topic. So and we keep thinking we
Mm-hmm.
during the whole day. So the exercise for today would be to touch bases of these two different words: self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
self-compassion. How is my parameters? How are my parameters? So
Right.
and how can I improve my or get the balance between self-compassion and self-esteem every single day and after every situation, because if you struggle with a relationship, so what's going on there? So because a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, it involves two people, two players. So
Yes.
what's going on there? And besides these two players, two people, the whole relationship between, so the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions, the expectations, and So this is huge, really, energetically talking. It is very, very important to get the information of the difference and how to handle with that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So I'm going to give a very stark example. Yesterday, I was speaking to somebody for over, I would say about an hour, a little over an hour. And she was in a difficult situation in her life, going through a divorce. And a lot of things come up when you're going through a divorce. And I picked up that the whole thing of abandonment started when she was a young girl and her father passed away, and she didn't have the space to to feel those emotions at that time when she was a teenager. And here she is, a 50-year-old woman getting divorced, and is overwhelmed with emotions that started when she was a teenager. And so just having that space to allow those emotions from when she was a teenager to surface and come out was the starting point to release the problem in her current day life. So it's very important that we allow ourselves those emotions, and that we have the compassion to allow ourselves the space to go through those processes and the grief and the abandonment and all of that stuff
yeah,
before it becomes the elephant in the room that's so big that we can't get it out of the room. Because how does an elephant go out the door?
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to break the house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a huge topic. Thank you very much, Meira. And
Thank
just as a summary, so today we did discuss, we recap the whole mantras of self-compassion. So if you are
you.
joined us right now, so you can get the recording and go um, again, so you can receive the mantras. I think there were 5 or 6 mantras that you can repeat, and you can get the energy of the words, and
Mhm.
also move the whole subconscious mind to up level your
Yeah.
self-esteem and even your self-love. So it is very important to have a balance between self-compassion and self-esteem, self-compassion. However, self-compassion should be higher than self-esteem, should be, so your awareness of self-compassion should be greater, let's say.
Mhm.
So we hardly recommend, we suggest people to get the awareness of what's the level of self compassion. So that was amazing. And after that, we did these 10 questions of self compassion.
Mhm.
So you can go through each and every question again. So you have the recording. And in addition, Meira will gift us the whole compassion quiz, self compassion quiz by email. So
Mhm.
you can write down, you can just receive the information by email, and you can ask for it. As you know, we have already a WhatsApp group and also a mailing list where Meira is gifting us every single day one topic. So thank you very much, Meira. And
Thank you.
I had question yesterday about the program. So the
Yes.
self mastery. Could you please tell us? So we are in week number 7 or 8. I don't remember right now. Tomorrow
I
we
think
have our
I think we're approaching week number 8 now.
number 8. Yeah, and we have tomorrow our group meeting. So we are 9 people, first batch. And what about the next one? So tell us a little bit.
Well, our second batch is the registration is opened, um, and it's a 3-month program where we touch on topics that are very important to our lives: our health, our well-being, our how we what we eat, how we sleep, the effects of hormones in our body, how to balance them. We have several facilitators. We do energy work during these times. We also have two health coaches that really take us by the hand and teach us what we need for our bodies. It's all individually tailored. We have sound healings every week, which is fabulous, really fabulous. We have an interesting topic coming up tomorrow. We're going to be talking about sex and how our sex chakra is the chakra for creation. Not only creation of humanity, but creation, anything we want to create in the world. So if we have any blocks in that area, then we can't create new things in our world. And all of us are creating every moment. So we want to open that up. We want to be able to receive, we want to be able to give. We want to up level our energy and our vibration, and we want to be healthy, contributing people in our society. And that's what our program promotes, being healthy, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Meira. So we see us tomorrow for our next Facebook Live. So we have another great topic for tomorrow. So then see you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.